So Abhishek, Priya, welcome. So before we get into the technology, I want to talk about like the problem behind it, why companies often realize the customer is unhappy only when it's already too late. Let's just talk about how you came across this problem statement and what Meza's doing to fix it.
Yeah, thank you so much, Osman, for having us. It's pleasure to be here and always great interacting with you and talk about customer success. And that's what we actually doing at Mesa. And how did we come with this idea was so we had 200 paying customers in our last company, and we had 7 8 customer success manager including ourselves. We were constantly struggling with which accounts were happy, which were about to get churn, and where could we upsell. It's not like that we haven't have the data. We had all the data. We had a product usage, we had their Slack conversation, their email, their databases, everything. But by the time when we realized that customer was unhappy, they were likely gone.
And so if I was just to look at the problem with customer success, I mean, you've already said it. And if I'm unhappy as a customer, rather than going on and on about it, I'm already looking at alternative solutions right at the very beginning. So by the time I tell somebody, I've already evaluated the competition. So I just wanted to go through just that specific thing because, you know, what do leaders in these companies, these SaaS companies that have got customer churn problems, what do they still continue to believe? What lies are they telling themselves that you're able to uncover?
Yeah, for Meza is a AI customer success platform for SaaS companies to prevent churn and unlock cross-sell and upsell opportunities. We checked several platform, several incumbent legacy customer success platform. We checked Gainsight, Tatango, Churn Zero, but problem with those software is like they are pre-AI era. And what do I mean by pre-AI era is that, let's say, integration takes months to uh, implement and stuff. And even if we bought it, we would require a full-time ops person just to handle it. So we thought that there have to be one AI native software which could integrate with all across your data sources, be it like structured data like databases, CRM, prod users, or unstructured data, let's say Zoom or call like this, Slack, and also third-party data, be it LinkedIn or any other internet sources. And it could tell you in your plain English that these are your 3 customers that are going to get churn in this cycle. These are the reasons why. These are the stuff that we could do to prevent them. And that's how we started building Mesa.
Okay. I mean, and let's just talk about how you got to this point. Like, if I was to understand just your founder story, what were you doing before Meza and what made you then switch from that? Because your previous company that you both set up had more than 2 million users. And, you know, despite having the product data and CRM data and all of that kind of stuff, um, you know, what made you then decide, okay, we're gonna do Meza AI?
Yeah,
Well,
so it
yeah.
started before, back when we were in third year of our college. So Abhishek went to IIT, I went to NIT, and we started with an offline magazine across IITs and NITs. And Abhishek and I, we are family friends. We have known each other since we were 10. So Abhishek contacted me during that time, and we started selling in. And we used to all the online and offline events were kind of registered onto the platform that we were building at the time. And that's how we knew that there was this kind of college project that we did together. And
Mm.
afterwards, I went to Kane. I worked as a software security engineer, and Abhishek was a product manager at ByteDance Beijing. And then I think after in back in 2019 is when Abhishek and I connected again. And it was never like, oh, okay, we are going to become founders right now. So we just saw an idea. We were building a community for writers, and at the time, there were several blogging platforms that were coming in, and we realized that the problem with building so many blogging platform and not a community is the connect, and that we talked to many prominent writers of Quora. We talked to Gopal Sri Vishwanatha, who had around 20 million views at that time, trying to understand like how they think they can connect better with their audience. And that's how we ended building up NBlick and then creating a community. After that, we realized it's going to be an amazing thing if we can, make a community platform and then go in SaaS. So it was that kind of journey for us.
All right. And were there any experiences doing that made you say, hey, look, we need to do a company like Meza? Was there one lost customer or incident that stayed with you that made you think, in hindsight, this is what we need Meza?
Like as I mentioned that we had 200 paying customers, and we didn't know our churn was really high. We didn't know the customer was unhappy, like customer is this not liking the product or product features. We had all the data, we had everything, but by the time when we knew that customer was unhappy, they were gone. So we in fact we literally build this software for ourselves to manage our community product. And then we thought that this is much bigger problem, because AI coming in, context coming up, we could do so much harness to the LLMs with proprietary data as well. And then we started building Meza.
Okay, cool. I mean, this is really interesting because this is something that you experienced as a pain point that you were fixing for yourself, and then you realize that you could grow this into its own platform, which is amazing. And these are the kind of stories which I really love to hear.
Was considered as a cost function. It was not considered as a revenue function. So if you consider like pre-sales and a post-sales, pre-sales, basically sales team, they are always given the tools, be it CRM for the starters and the intelligence software, and then there are like hundreds of the software. Post-sales software like customer success, renewal software, or onboarding software, because they used to consider it as a cost function. That's why most of the folks, they still think at early stage that this is not required. But once company have certain ARR, let's say it's a 5 mil or 10 mil, and they are in very highly competitive space, they're just losing their customers left, right, center, and then the founder thinks that it's the best time to build a customer success team, and that's where we come in.
And also, the time is quite interesting because previously, like we had two kind of competitors right now, like incumbent players like Gainsight to Tango. So that was the time when most of the data was unstructured or structured. Which I mean is, people usually had CRM data, product analytics data, or maybe a support desk from Zendex or any of the platforms, and it was quite structured, so they know they have to integrate all those data and be able to compute on that. But now we can see, because of AI disruption, new age AI companies are coming in, and each of those companies are bringing in new signals. So that's why we say that a mid-market SaaS company, they generates about 20 to 50,000 conversation messages, either in form of AI note takers, emails, new age AI CRM companies, product analytics, then AI support tickets in form of analysis that gives intent and sentiment, not just the conversation. So even to now be able to cope up with that, we needed to find a solution to be able to to be able to collaborate all these signal and be able to show insight, which was not possible before.
So yeah, I think it goes. I think if I to summarize that, the problem isn't missing data; it's just the interpretation of the data and being able to say this is the intent, sentiment, and this is what I would class as a red, amber, or green health score for a client. Am I getting that right?
Yeah, 100%. And to add on, think of it like till now, all the systems, all the software, they were more kind of system of record. We are building system of decisions, right? So
Okay.
you have the dashboard and stuff, but we have agents who are also taking decision on the customer success manager's behalf.
Okay. I mean, that's interesting because we were literally looking at teams that would create analytical dashboards from, things like Tableau and, Power Query and things like that. And what you're saying here is that, yeah, just looking at the data is one thing, but being able to make a decision and to actually action the decision is the big problem here. So let's just switch over to the AI and the future of customer success management. I mean, you're in this space now. Will AI replace customer success managers completely?
Yeah, so it's a very interesting questions. Like, we in fact, like, we get every calls with the customers, with the investors. This is how our take on it. So definitely AI is helpful in the customer success. So before AI, I just answer this with one example. So before AI, let's say one customer success manager was managing 50 accounts or 80 or 100. What they used to do, they used to just focus 4, 5, 8 accounts which were of high value, and then there was a long tail of the accounts, right? They just ignore those accounts. Right now with AI, they could focus every account, be it like 50, 100 or 500 accounts. They could focus that they are their best value accounts. So right now with customer success software like us, one customer success manager becomes like 100x customer success manager. So if they were managing 50 account, they could manage like 500 or like even 1,000. So that's the scale of the customer success. And to even go further, can like a customer success function would eliminated by AI? We think that customer success is more kind of relationships, and it's about building relationships with the customers to understand the customers, and customer always want a human. So the last line would always be the human, but this human is equipped with like 100.
So if I was to look at the future of CSM, I mean, it's going to be a shift from just managing like the top tier to being able to say these are the ones which are really at risk and let me focus on those because every customer is important. I mean, I give my own example. Literally, we had a new sales manager come in. We had one customer success manager handling the Asia region. And in reality, we were only focusing on one customer. Why?
Yeah.
Because they just demanded so much, right? There was such a high-paying net client for us that we couldn't afford to focus on anything else. But if we were able to use and leverage AI, we could say 80% of the things that we need to worry about don't need to be worried about, and we can focus on the other 20% that are really important and are likely to churn. So yeah, I kind of like what you're building here in terms of being able to do that. Because this is the biggest issue. I have one customer success manager. How do you manage like 20 customers? Even 20 customers is really hard. But in reality, you're only focusing on the top 3 or 4, and
100%.
yeah. Okay. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
go
and
ahead.
I would like to add one more thing. So till now, like, customer success manager job is more kind of reactive. With the AI coming into the picture, this would be more on a proactive, and customer success manager job would not be gonna just a cost function. It will evolve as a revenue function. and then new metrics, new KPIs are coming for customer success manager. Right now, till now, customer success manager were more on that they just have to focus on the churn. Now, like upsell and cross sell are also being added into their KPIs.
Yeah. I mean, that was the case with me in 2023. Our customer success managers did have KPIs for cross sell, upsell, you know, increase of revenue. That was part of their metrics. It was no longer stop losing customers. It was keep a customer and are you growing this account? And before that was a job purely for the account manager. But now it's if you don't have the privilege of having an account manager, then the CSM fulfills that role, and often they don't have the tools to do it. Yeah. Okay. I mean, and what happens when, like, if I was to look at just the type of typical customer, what do they typically do? Do you have like some heads up warning signs, like at a 30-day, 60-day, or 90 days before they churn? Do you roughly know what types of signals customers might be giving?
100%. So I would like to take this one. So most of the companies from Series A to Series D, where we operating, all these other SaaS companies growing like crazy, 100% or 200% year on year. So they have a customer success manager. They have everything, CS tools, all in the place. Their customer success managers have two jobs. The first job is that they have to prevent the churn. The second job is they have to create opportunity for upsell and cross sell. They do everything right, but then also surprise churn happens. So here, what we did at Meza, we built a very unique feature that we call internal needle movers. So needle movers gives you 30 days, 60-day insights before the actual decisions happen.
Okay. I mean, can you give me some like examples of what those needle movers might be?
Yes. So let's say if I'm a customer success manager and you are my customers, you are a Series A company based out of Singapore doing 10 mil ARR, growing 300% year on year. Let's say you are head of customer success or VP customer success, and you are the champion. You literally bought our software, and in one call, let's say it was a renewal engagement or renewal discussion call, and you just said that, Priya or Abhishek, I'm just planning to leave the job or something, or like I'm on notice period. So
Yeah.
our system could and this was just 1 second of convo, and
Yeah.
then we just go on discuss everything. So our system would pick this exact line, exact sentiment, and right now let's say the account is on healthy, it's a 90 plus score out of 100. Now the agent will put this account at risk because the champion is changing. Let's say the next person, the second person in the command would have a different priorities. So these are the granular levels that we're going to talk about here at Meza.
Right. Okay. If I was to look at the skill sets that you need for a CSM, then which human skills will become more valuable?
The first and foremost would be building relationships with the customers, because and then using all the agents able to make call and talk to all the agents. That would be the second part. So if I would be answering in two parts, the first would be building relationships with the customer, second would be using AI effectively, so that as a customer success manager I could become like 100x CSM. Right.
Got it. Yeah. Okay. And which is more dangerous, a customer that's gone quiet or a customer that's got angry?
Yeah, pardon?
I think the customer that has gone quiet is the most dangerous one, because that's when we are missing the signals at all. We don't know what's behind, because if it's angry, it's really easy to understand what part actually impacted that and be able to resolve it.
Yeah. Right. Cool. Yeah, I think that's the other issue. If they've gone quiet, everyone always says no news is good news, but in customer success, no news often means something is quietly
Yeah.
going wrong, and you need to work out what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to finish off with just some like rapid fire questions, like so the most overrated, you just need to finish these sentences, like, so the most overrated customer success metric is
Yeah, for me, it's just a number of accounts that I'm handling, and that is overrated.
overrated, right? And the first sign of a bad onboarding experience is
It takes too much of time to get onboarded. If it's like more than a week or 2 week, uh, the customer don't want to wait. If they sign the contract, they just
yeah,
want to get the results ASAP.
okay. And the biggest mistake founders make after closing a sale is
The first thing, they don't have a right onboarding system in the place. Second is, how could I tell? The second would be, the first is like, right onboarding system in the place. Second is not documenting what actually the customer want.
yeah. I mean, I'm just going to go a little bit further here. I mean, when we used to sell, if we sold it, every salesperson will say, not my problem anymore. It's over to the CSM to fix. And that for me is like one of the biggest mistakes that you can make, just to do a bad handoff and trying to treat the salesperson as just completely devolved away from actually supporting that customer from onboarding. And the best CSMs, what do they consistently do?
Just talk to their customers. They have every nerve of their what their customers are doing.
Yeah. Okay. And if you could leave every SaaS founder and customer success leader with one idea, what would it be?
I think it should be like, build customer success functions from day one. All right.
Okay. So think of the customer success onboarding process right from day one. Who owns that? Is that the the operations officer, customer success manager? I mean, if there's no customer success manager, who owns that responsibility?
Yeah. So for a pre-seed or seed stage in a SaaS company, the founder CEO is officially the chief customer success manager, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, so the founder should own the customer success.
Okay, cool. I mean, so we're just going to wrap things up now. So, got it.
And also, we believe that AI is always going to be an inference, and any platform that comes in would, like, for in case of Meza, it is going to be that intelligence layer behind it. So even when customers take a platform, they're not buying an AI model. What they are buying is an outcome. And Claude or any AI model is always going to be that intelligence, while the platform in itself, like Mesa, is going to be a system that turns that intelligence into a measurable business results.
Mm,
And similarly, like we have created a user data model which is a closed loop and is training by itself. So we believe that moat is going to be a closed loop rather than using Claude and building something that does not answer it based on your current values.
I mean, I'm just going to say, are there any questions which I should be asking that you feel that I haven't asked?
That AI is changing so fast, so probably how we are coping up with that, because every day a new AI model is coming up or something around that.
Yeah. Okay, let's ask that then. I mean, how are you keeping up with the pace of change with AI, especially since you're a platform that's utilizing AI to deliver success for CSMs?
Yeah, so it's that every day that we are seeing a new AI model coming up, whether it's Opus, Sonnet, or even when it comes to GPT, every day we are seeing a new model popping up, and it then becomes difficult for us to be able to keep up with the evals, because with previous model there the eval become obsolete, and that's why we do ablation right now with our new models. So with each and every model that gets released, and with each, so we use different models for different tasks. For complex tasks we use Claude, for normal tasks we use chat gpts and all, and then we are building our own model that we are training. We're using llama for that. So what we are doing is we are doing ablation whenever a new model gets released, and which means that we delete an entire system prompt, and it's like an eval, which we always verify it with the outcome, and then we keep on appending it. Because right now the challenge these days, the challenge is also to be updated with the model and have each and everything documented. And at the same time we are working on making our model to not be prompt injectable after a while. So everything is going to be based on reinforcement learning and feedback closed system. Everything is going to guide itself on understanding what a customer preferences are, and how to actually move the system for him accordingly.
Okay, all right. I mean, these are the things which are really keeping a lot of founders up at night, especially when they're in the AI space. How do I keep up with this constant churn of new models? And if it's not ChatGPT, it's something that comes out of China from the likes of Kimi is the one that was making the headlines even just a few weeks ago. And every week I'm seeing something new, and I actually have given up looking at them. I just stick to one now, and even even now, I think most people just don't have the patience for it anymore. But if you're a founder and you're using AI and you're not keeping across it, there's a good chance that somebody else will utilize that and take your space.
Yeah, because with each model comes in different form of intelligence, and not being able to keep up with that does create a FOMO in itself, because each model has their own complexity and intelligence tool clubbed in. And if you're not using it, we are missing out on so many things that we could have done, and we are not doing it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I want to wrap it up now. I think we're at 30 minutes. We should be able to get 20 something minutes of conversation out of this. Abhishek, Priya, really thank you for joining me. We've discussed why churn is usually visible before it happens and how customer success teams can act earlier using Meza. And we've been looking at the way the CSM role is changing. Before it was just stop churn. Now it's like grow my account, look at the cross-sell and upsell opportunities, but also get ahead of the curve before you actually have to deal with a customer threatening to leave. So if I wanted to ask, where should people go to find out more about Meza and how you can help them?
Yeah, so the people could always go to www.meza.ai. That's our website and our LinkedIn. We are also fairly active on LinkedIn and Max. So they could hit the book a demo button, or they could just ping our team, and then say we'll take it from there.
Right, cool. Okay, brilliant. I really appreciate your time today, and hopefully we'll do another video as well to see how you've progressed over time as well. We'll be hearing a lot more good success stories about where you are with your new customers that you've onboarded.
Yes.
Okay, cool.